What is up, guys? Thank you again for joining me for another video on our Tech Tip Tuesday. Now this is part 2 of 5, and today we're going to be talking about the Astro A40 with the M80 MixAmp. Now this is a 5-year-old headset, so we're going to be giving not only an unboxing and review of the headset, but we're also going to give you details on how it's performed in the last 5 years, something that I have not seen done on this headset yet. So definitely something new. Stick around, we're gonna go through it right after this. So thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I just want to go ahead and say that we are not sponsored in any way, shape, or form by Astro. I just want to get that out of the way. This is a 100% honest review. We're going on a 5-star rating. This is part 2 of 5 of our gaming headset kind of review of the ones that we've used or the new ones that we've gotten. The first one is the HyperX Cloud 2, which we just got, but we've had plenty of hours of training with it, so check that out. Thumbnails right here, and I'll leave a link in the description below. When the other parts come out, I will come back to this video and make sure to put them in the description as well, so you can see all 5 parts on one spot. So what we're going to do is basically, I've already reviewed the HyperX Cloud 2 in depth. Actually, my wife did, and I kind of just helped along with it, but go ahead and check that out, see what kind of reviews that got. We're going to do one for this bad boy, and we have 2 more models coming up, and then I'm going to do a final wrap-up video so that we can basically compare all of them, compare the ratings, and which one we would actually go with on the different price ranges that we actually bought these for. We're going to see, after 5 years, and after spending all the money we did on these Astros, were they worth the money, or were they just too overpriced? We're going to find that out. But first, I just want to bring you back. 5 years ago, an Xbox One recently just came out, you know, new controllers and different headsets, and everybody just wanted to get the newest, latest, greatest thing. So getting the new Xbox meant, of course, you might have to upgrade your equipment. Now, back when it first came out, I will tell you that we had these controllers that you'll see there is no 3.5mm jack on the bottom. The only thing you have is that one rectangular prism that you can put it into. That is very bad for Xbox when they first came out, because everybody wanted to use their old school Astros that they use with their 360, PlayStation, and Xbox, because everything's supposed to work together. I mean, it's what, 2015 now? So everybody was expecting that, and Xbox really didn't have an answer for it. So the only thing we could basically use was just the mic that came with it, because it came with its special adapter where you can change the audio and mute yourself and everything right there connected to the controller. They thought this was the latest, greatest thing. This is the way that people would go, but there was a rave and an uproar on what happened with this. So instead of rolling with this, Astro made their own design and came out with their answer for it. And here you have the Astro A40 with the M80 MixAmp. Now, you'll be seeing some footage while I'm talking, very close-up footage of what it looks like. But basically, the M80 portion of it plugs into the old models and the new models today. So 2020, it is still plugged into the controllers the same way. Everything still works just as fine as it did before. You've got your different presets as far as your bass and your treble and all that you can select from. You have your voice output and your game output that goes into your headphone, and it's basically like a scale where one side could be louder than the other, so you can hear more voices or you can hear more of the game. It's totally up to you, and you can control the bass and the treble. Underneath you will have your little dial where you can turn up and down the volume, and then right there in the middle is a push button for mute. It will light up red when it's muted, and you click it again and the red light will go away. So this is a great answer. It's basically using the old technology but in Astro's form, adding more stuff into it so that you can do more at your controller rather than having to go in the menu and the settings. So that was great back then, and we'll cover more in depth about that a little bit later. So here we have the new style controller like we talked about in our HyperX video. Basically, it has the rectangular portion and it has a 3.5mm jack in it. So you can use either or. You can use your old headset. You can buy the M80 for the Astros and you can plug it in there. You can use pretty much anything. So it's like more of a universal style for the new controller. So that's a great thing that Xbox answered that, because people were really not enjoying the fact that they couldn't use their old school gaming headsets that they had spent so much money on before. So that's great by them. They did awesome with that. So I haven't heard anything since. Now, 2020, how did this thing hold up after almost 5 years of messing around? So this is my very first gaming headset, the first one we ever got, and it was super expensive. So now that we've basically seen some of the unboxing, of course your box might look a little bit different. Some packaging, twist ties might be in there, but for the most part, I try to preserve this as much as possible in case anything happened, I could return it to the store. But time's gone by and everything seems to work okay for now, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I haven't had to use it, so luckily I had the box on hand to help out with this video. Alright, so the first thing I want to say in the style and design review is that, number one, this was the only style that they had at that time. This was the only style that came with the M80. If you had an Astro, you would have to basically buy this as a separate entity. At the time, I did not have one, so I bought the whole bundle as itself to save me a couple bucks. Unfortunately, since it's my first one, it did cost me a bit of money. But with what you get with it, with the style that you get, I mean, it's not just a plain Jane, just white or black. I mean, it has a little bit of blue in there, it has a little bit of color. The padding is basically it feels like a shirt on your ears, which some of you might like that because it keeps your head warm, and some of you might not because you run a little warm, and of course this gets a little too hot. And it kind of absorbs sweat if you like pro game or anything like that. But they are comfortable to me. I've worn them for hours and hours of playing before. I can say that this little pad at the top does help my head. It's like a little cushion, that's the same one as your ears. It does help when it sits on my head, and I do enjoy it. I love the look of it. Whenever you see a pro gamer or streamer and you see those little antennas popping up out the sides, you know it's an Astro. So it's definitely definitive on what it looks like, what it does. The curly wiring inside of it is a nice little added touch, and they kind of curl up when you adjust the earpieces on the side. Another little thing about Astros, now I will say that since it's 2020 now, there are different styles. I've seen the navy blue with the red, I've seen the black red with chrome, I've seen some dark green like Halo Master Chief kind of things, and there are tournament ready editions of this now. So this is just the plain Jane version of it, and now we have the tournament edition. So tournament ready is a higher quality headset. I mean, it's the same thing basically, but it comes with a couple more enhancements that you can work with if you want to dive into that. But if this is all you need, this is perfectly fine for the average casual gamer. You can also take these off. They are magnetic. Don't worry if they fall off, but they're magnetic. Stick them to the side. There you go. You can have it wrapped. You can have these with your special teams on it. I love the fact that you can customize these as much as you can. They've even got a virtual lab where you can actually design your own A40s however you like. So that's a big bonus, a big plus for me. All right, so one of the things I've noticed is that your ears can actually come off. Now, this may be something that you can interchange even without the possibility of changing out the earmuffs. As far as the style and design goes, I really love Astros. They're the best looking headset, personally to me, from a standpoint, like just the fact that you can notice right off the bat. So these are Astros, these are no Chinese made brand or anything like that. You know without a shadow of a doubt that when you see something like this, that's gonna be some Astros. So I love the style of design that you can change the colors and you can put your own like logo on the side of it. On their website, you can design any color you want. I mean, there's just so much customizability to this, and I love everything about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 5 stars out of 5 because I just can't get enough of it. All right, so number 2, we're gonna talk about comfort, basically determining if it's a good or bad device. So let's get started with the fact that, as I said before, the earphones are only this shirt material, so we get hot, sweaty, and when we get sweaty, of course, it gets trapped in there, and you might have to wash them or anything like that. But for a gaming headset, I'd much rather have leather just because it's cooler. You can clean it easy, just get some Clorox wipes, wipe it down when you're done with them, give them to the next person. It's much easier to deal with personally for me. So I don't like that about it. As far as comfort for myself, wearing it for an extended amount of time, like let's say a 3-hour gaming session or more, it really doesn't bother me too much. I will say the earpieces have a lot of room for my little bitty ears. So when it comes to me putting them on, there's a lot of play in them. So I can like basically like move them around a lot more than I would expect to. If I want to have a gaming headset, I want it snug to my head, just planted exactly where I want it to be. I don't want it to move or anything like that. I just want it to be right there where I left it. But with these, I'm having trouble with them. I have to keep adjusting them because they start to make me feel uncomfortable with sweating and all that. I will say that my wife has been using these as well. This is actually hers now that I got my other headset, which we'll see in another video. But she's been using these before the HyperX, and she has a massive amount of headaches wearing these for an extended amount of time. So we'll be playing Borderlands for a good few hours or so, and she has to sit there and put it down and step away from it because it just hurts her head so much. She says that she does like the fact that these can turn. So basically when you put it on your chest like that, you can leave like that or like this, and you won't feel like you're constricted, like it's choking you, but it's a good relaxing fit no matter how you want to play. Comfort, unfortunately, it's not going to be perfect. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that now. There's definitely better headsets as far as comfort for me out there. So I'm gonna say this is going to be with the headache issue with the earphones and with the moving around a little bit. I'm sorry to say, but I'm gonna have to give this for a 3.5. 3.5 stars out of 5. Just because, I mean, that's kind of like a big deal for me, especially when I'm gaming for a long amount of time. So 3.5 stars out of 5. Sorry about that, Astro. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is the headset sound. Now this includes any kind of audio coming into the ears while we're playing games, anybody else's voices going from their headset into this, any kind of noise going into this headset at all. So for sounds, it sounds amazing. For my first gaming headset, it totally blew me away because of the equalizer that you can mess with on here. You can make it with a lot of treble in it, so you don't have a lot of bass. You can have a mixture of the two, or you can have nothing but bass with a hint of treble. Now that was really cool. I didn't expect that. So if you ever like watch movies with this, I will say you're gonna be like fully immersed. It's gonna sound amazing. I love it. That was basically a great reason for me to get this. Like playing games like Call of Duty where you like hear people's footsteps. Everybody else has got their headsets, they can hear it. So make sure you're on the same level as them, right? So using this for the first time, it totally blew me away, and I couldn't imagine anything sounding as good as it did. So since we're able to hear the sound coming through the headset, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 5 out of 5 because I can hear everything through this. I can hear the game, I can hear the voice chat, I can hear everything. And it's surround sound, so if they're coming from the right, you can hear them from the right. If they're coming from the left, you can hear them from the left. If they're behind you, you can hear that too. I love that about it, so you can watch movies with it and game with it. And the fact that you can control the treble and the bass on it, because I love me some music with bass in it. So if you're like I am and you listen to your music in game, of course, bass is awesome. If you want to hear people's footsteps, have a little mixture or treble, and you'd have no problem whatsoever with it. I love it. 5 stars out of 5. Now the next feature is going to be the mic sound quality. Now the great thing about this, of course we've already been over, you can interchange the mic on either side. So if you're like me and my wife, we like it on the right side of the headset. The left has no problems with it. It's just that we prefer on the right. So the fact that they allow it to be on either side and the sound stays the same is amazing. I love that about it. The microphone itself, you can swivel it all around, have it close to you, far away from you, whatever you want to do. The fact that the range is so big is amazing. I love that part about it. Now, the downside of this microphone, I did not realize it at the time because, so with the old headset, it's basically nothing but a piece of plastic with holes at the end of it where you talk into. And it's the same style that you have with the Astros, but it's metal. See the metal tip microphone, everything else is rubber. The bad thing about that is that when you have an echoey room like we're in right now, you will be able to hear the reverb coming back and forth. You need a little padding around this microphone. So just like the HyperX, I really feel like this should have like some kind of muffling on it, like some kind of microphone cover, just so you won't pick up every little thing and it'll make things sound clear and more bassy. And another thing I don't like about it is that if you rub your finger over this, since it's metal and there's nothing protecting it, there's nothing distorting that happening, your buddy's gonna hear that on their end and it's gonna hurt their ears. It sounds terrible. I hate when people like move their mic, breathe in their mic. It will pick that up very easily, so you have to move it away from your mouth a lot. That's really a thing I think that they can improve on, but it's not a deal breaker per se. As long as you have it in the right place, you shouldn't have a problem with it. And once you set it, it's like one of those things you set and forget. As far as the mic quality, yes, it could get better, but a lot of people have been telling me that it actually sounds like me on the other end. So I like that about it. It's almost like I'm using like an external microphone. I'm gonna give this microphone quality a 4 stars out of 5. So, not too shabby. Alright, so the next section is going to be the point I really wanted to talk about, and that is the price. Now, Astros are great. They're very highly customizable, and they're one of the few gaming headsets that were around back then. I mean, you had your Turtle Beaches and stuff that came along a little bit later, but Astros were the name brand that everybody wanted to have because associated with pro gaming. It's going to come with a hefty price tag, so let's talk about that right now. Now, as I said before, I've hoarded this a little bit. Just because if anything happened, I want to be able to return it at some point. I even kept the receipt. So GameStop, this is where I bought it from. Looking at the receipt 5 years ago, this headset was $200 and I got it on sale for $25 off. So it was a new product, it had just come out, and latest greatest thing to work with the old style controllers because they didn't have that 3.5mm port yet. So this guy was $200, and the bad thing about it was that only could use with Xbox unless you had another cord. Now the good thing about this, as you saw in the unboxing, they did come with the 3.5mm cord as a backup, so that's the great thing about it. It also comes with the M80 MixAmp as well, so you can use either or, and you can plug this into your PC, your PlayStation, or your Xbox. It doesn't matter. But as long as you had this, you had to have this part to plug it into the Xbox controllers. So it came with everything that you need, and it's pretty stylish. Of course, with the Halo Arbiter controller that we have, it went perfect with it. So I love that combo, and it worked very well. But price, $200. Back then and even now, there are gaming headset companies that are in about the $100 range. Like we saw the HyperX Cloud 2, which you can even get on sale for $20 to $25 off, that I've seen here lately. And this right here is $200 compared to an $80 headset, or $175 to an $80 headset. I'm gonna have to say, for what you get with the HyperX, even though you don't have the customizability that you normally have with the Astros, I feel like not a lot of people are really into that. If you're paying, like, if you're going to pay this price tag, you better be able to customize it. HyperX is more for the people who just want that sound. They don't care about looks or anything like that. They just want the sound and to be able to have surround sound in their heads. You get the customizability with this guy. Pretty much a lot of it can be customized. But if that's not what you're into, if you're only for the sound, I would highly suggest you go for the HyperX. This being $200, I have to say that I'm gonna give this a 3 stars out of 5. Just because that's a little bit on the high side, and I feel like it could be cheaper. Now, today's tournament ready edition of this headset is going for about $175 retail, or you can get the dark green for about $200. So you're still looking at the same price, just a little couple more settings in it. I just feel like the price could come down a little bit more on them, but it's Astro, so it's like buying a Rolls Royce and when you only need a Honda Civic, right? But yeah, 3 stars out of 5 for the price. Last thing we're going to review on this headset, and then we'll go to our final review, that is noise cancellation. Now, there's nothing advertised really on this headset that dictates that you actually have noise cancellation. They don't really say that it's going to cancel out any kind of audio, but when you're going for a $200 headset, you need it. I mean, why wouldn't a $200 headset be noise cancellation? Because I feel like that's the thing a lot of people are going for. They want to be fully immersed in the game. They don't want to have to worry about what Sally's talking about over here or Billy's going on about at school or whatever. They want to be able to plug it in, get immersed, and enjoy themselves in the gaming environment or their movie. I will say that these do not cancel noise like at all unless you're blasting the sound on it. So I don't think these really cancel very much, but this section was one of my wife's favorite because she made a good point that it really is, in this day and age, one of the priorities that people look for in a gaming headset when spending all this money. So if you're into noise cancellation kind of stuff, I don't think this is going to be the right pick for you. If you don't care about that, you want to go for customizability and have like the best sound that you possibly can out of a gaming headset, I'd say go ahead and pick you up one. There might be better alternatives that we'll go over, but for now, if that's what you want to do, then there you go. So the rating I'm going to give noise cancellation, I mean, again, they did not state it on the box or any kind of promo for it at all. So I'm not going to lower the stars because of that. But if you're looking for noise cancellation, look elsewhere. So I'm going to give this about a 2-star out of 5 for noise cancellation. I'm not going to give it a 0 because, like I said, you can still hear stuff around you. But if you raise the volume up, you're going to get a little bit of sound out of that. And they didn't advertise it, so I'm gonna give them a couple stars. So I'm giving it a 2 stars out of 5 in noise cancellation. So after tallying up all the stars that we have, I'm very shocked to say this, but the Astro A40 headset, the basic version, not the tournament ready, just the basic version that came out 5 years ago. After 5 years, did it stand the test of time? I mean, you can still use this headset. Of course, you just unplug it, plug in a 3.5mm jack. You can still use it. But for everything we're looking for, I'm actually surprised at the review that it actually got. So 3.5 out of 5 stars. Ugh. I feel like if the price was a little bit lower, that it would actually make it up to like a 4-star. If we could fix a couple like things about it, like the comfort and it moving around my ears, that'd be another 0.5 star. But for what it is, I mean, 5 years ago, I mean, 3.5 stars out of 5 isn't too bad. But definitely check out other options if anything that we've said is not what you're looking for in a headset. So definitely keep looking around because you can definitely get something cheaper than this, in my personal opinion. So that's pretty much it. So let me know in the comments below, do you agree with what I said? Do you think that everything I said was accurate? If you don't, I mean, we all have our rights to our reviews, but this is what we thought about it after using it for 5 years. Now, it's a pretty good headset. It's not the absolute best that you could get, but it's still pretty good. I'm sure Astro has a couple more items that we're probably gonna review here coming up and hope that it can get a better review than it did before. Now, like I said in this video already, this is part 2 of 5. We've already done our HyperX Cloud 2, and we gave that a rating. We just did our A40 with the M80 MixAmp for the Xbox. And next we're going to be going through another headset, and then we're gonna have another headset. And then in a final part 5 wrap up, we're gonna take all the headsets together, pile them into one video, compare the reviews, and we're gonna see which one came out on top. If you enjoyed this in-depth review, if this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, please make sure to like this video because it really does help us so very much. If you want to see more videos like this, we do Tech Tip Tuesday as much as I possibly can to give you reviews of different kind of tech, gaming or car-wise things. But Tech Tip Tuesday is the thing I want to keep doing. So if you enjoy that, let us know. And let us know if you have any kind of suggestions on what we should put in our Tech Tip Tuesdays so that we can keep giving you guys good content. Subscribe if you did enjoy the content that we provided to you today and you want to see more of it. Thank you guys for joining me. Hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget, always remember to stay sinister.
Perfect.